Something I've learned over the years, reading different stories, watching different movies, anime, cartoons, TV shows, whatever, is that when a story is comprised of great, unique, individual characters, it stands out. It makes for an amazing experience. And that's why I think One Piece and some of the antagonists are so great. It's because they're all individual and they all have their own way of going about things. And they're polarizing in their own ways, but I think they all have something in common. But I think the great ones, they have something in common. But today we're going to talk about how Kaido stacks up. How does he compare to some of the best antagonists in One Piece? I think recently, the more we've been learning about Kaido, the more you start to consider, wait, this guy is actually a lot deeper than we thought, and how this arc progresses may lead him to the plateau of One Piece. Unlikely, but I'm just saying. But first, let's see how much we can stack up with people subscribing to this channel right now. Click that red button, drop a like as well, because you're gonna enjoy this one, okay? We're gonna talk about One Piece antagonists because some of the antagonists are some of our favorite characters. Hand raised because Doflamingo is my favorite character, and he's widely regarded as the best antagonist in One Piece. But why? Of course, it's not gonna be an entire Doflamingo analysis because that would take too long, but we're gonna get into it because I'm really intrigued to see how Kaido stacks up to some of the best. So let's go. Okay, so first, what makes the One Piece antagonist special? Well, there are elements to a strong or great antagonist, and they're widely regarded. People use them all the time and try to use these criteria to analyze or to come to the conclusion of, hey, is this person a pretty good antagonist? I mean, of course, sometimes you feel it and you understand when you're watching the story, hey, this person is really great, or hey, this person is really bad. I don't like this person. But of course, like does not determine whether or not a character is a great character. Sometimes that is the intention, for you to dislike the character. But I think the best antagonists, they're likable, they're relatable, they're trying to accomplish something, they have their own personal desires that they're trying to act on, they're motivated, that's one thing as well. There's stakes for them, so if they fail, or if the main character succeeds, or the protagonist rather, there are severe consequences for them. They got to be adaptable, where they can adapt to their situations, not just a one-track mind in every situation just floors them. I think personality and character flaws helps, especially if it's relatable. And one thing we have to acknowledge with an antagonist, if they have a goal, or they're motivated to do something. You absolutely love when you can look at the character, analyze their situation and say, I agree with you. Based on what you've gone through, I get it. And we can't forget mystery, secrets, something about the antagonist that they're hiding that we need to find out. That makes them more compelling. And then of course that builds the character. It kind of rounds them out because there are things we don't know, and that keeps them interesting even after they could possibly fall to the protagonist. And of course that leads to more end game characters. So when you think of all the criteria I laid out, what characters come to mind? I can think of a few. Obviously Doflamingo, Blackbeard, Crocodile, in a way Katakuri, but then Kaido's interesting. And then you can't forget about Rob Lucci. Some may even say Buggy. So let's start with Crocodile. What was Crocodile trying to accomplish? Crocodile was essentially trying to take over Alabasta and also find the ancient weapon. Crocodile, some may view him as a failed New World pirate, but I think his charisma and how compelling he was, it's led to Crocodile being regarded, I think, next to Doflamingo as a great antagonist. Some may regard Crocodile as the prototypical mafia boss that's cool, swaggy, that seems to have all his bases covered. But you guys just really have to understand that Crocodile, he's one of the few people in One Piece to clearly defeat Luffy several times. And then after the fact, in chapter 207, after Luffy's poisoned, while Luffy's on the ground, Crocodile is telling Luffy that it doesn't matter how much he cares about his comrades. It doesn't matter how much he defies him or how he tries to thwart his plans. If he can't beat him now, everything he's done is in vain. And that ties back to Kaido, which Kaido didn't get too into it. He didn't say all of this specifically, but how he conveyed his message, it started to make you question Luffy's journey and just how important it is to everyone around him and how much he is the guiding light for a lot of his crew members and even just the allies. I think one of my favorite moments in Alabasta is when Crocodile was talking to Cobra about formulating a plan. Crocodile says, you could at least say I'm meticulous, King Cobra. When formulating a plan, you need to anticipate every eventuality. If anything should prevent my people from firing the cannon, the bomb is set to self-detonate. It's just a few seconds more. This shows Crocodile's charisma, adaptability, it raises the stakes and it adds to that character. You love it. And then for an antagonist as well, they are aided by the arc, the situation around them. How compelling are the events going on around them? And Alabasta is widely regarded as one of the best arcs in One Piece. And we can't forget about Crocodile's secrets. There's the one secret that everyone tries to speculate, everyone tries to guess. Hey, what's the secret Ivankov was talking about? We know Crocodile had some interactions with Whitebeard. We saw how amazing he was at Marineford. We've grown to love this character, and I think Oda has rounded him out really well, even from the cover stories, breaking out of Impel Down, even his subordinates. Crocodile, you can make the case, could be the best antagonist in One Piece. We might have taken a bit too long to Crocodile. Let's get to Doflamingo really quickly. Doflamingo, the reason why he's so amazing is that he checks every box. Motivations. Of course, he's trying to see the world burn because he's a celestial dragon, and that was a secret for a while. So that was compelling. We know how Doflamingo cares about his personal desires, things he's trying to accomplish. For instance, selling Smile, the slave trade, weapons trade. Doflamingo was involved in everything. He was the underworld broker. Joker. I think something you could question is Doflamingo's motivation. Yes, he was motivated to take over the world and, well, not take over, but see it burn. But Law did question his motivations, where at some point they stopped growing. He became a bit content. So that is something to question there. However, Doflamingo achieved a goal that Crocodile was trying to do. He took over Dressrosa, which was owned by the Don Quixotes in the past, but he got to the top of the pirate world. He was working with Kaido, a Yonko of the pirate world, while being a warlord and also a celestial dragon. A trifecta that really can't be compared to anyone in the story. Adaptability. We saw Doflamingo's entire plan after Law took Caesar, how he stumped them by basically stepping down as a warlord, using his powers as a celestial dragon, and then laughing in Law's face saying, Law, you really don't understand that it's my game and you play by my rules. Now, is Doflamingo flawed? Yes. He is. The God complex is crazy, but when we saw his backstory, we understood why he had a disdain for the celestial dragons. Some may question why he would kill his father, why he would kill his brother. Well, for his father, he brought him down and he had to suffer because of the decision his father made, which, he took it much differently from Corazon, but regardless, he killed his dad. With Corazon, he was conspiring against him. He was trying to get him arrested. Granted, he thought Doflamingo was pure evil, which the argument is definitely there, but in a weird kind of way, he's relatable. It's understood. When somebody, as a viewer, sometimes you see an antagonist and somebody does something wrong to the antagonist, you understand why they have to get them back. Of course, Doflamingo is amplified to the umpteenth degree, but you love him. He's flamboyant, he's funny, he's charismatic. How can you not? And of course, being in the way of Luffy, that's inevitable. He's a celestial dragon, Luffy's a D. Luffy's trying to free Dressrosa because, of course, his friends are there. And so he stood in Luffy's way. And because of not only Doflamingo's personal arc, but outside of that, the influence he had on the world, it rounds out the character and it provides so much insight in regards to the impact of this particular character, you can't help but gravitate to him, right? And outside of that, Oda has used Doflamingo to communicate or to be the narrator in certain situations. In Marineford, even for the Throne Wars, there are so many quotes that people pull from Doflamingo that still ring true today. Him keeping the reins on the supernova and how they're directly affecting Kaido and Big Mom at this point, everything he said is coming to fruition. So for me, my top one antagonist in One Piece, and I think just when you look at every box, it's pretty clear to me, but Crocodile is right there, no question. Okay, now Rob Lucci, I would say he's great as well. But the reason why Rob Lucci is not heralded as the others is that I don't think he's as charismatic. Like Rob Lucci, we know he's a prodigy as a kid. He was sent for Nico Robin. He's killed so many people in the past, but he felt a bit shallow. We lacked personal desires. He was only motivated based on what the world government wanted him to do. Of course, the stakes were there because after they failed, they were actually hunted down for a while. Adaptability, meh, not really relatable at all. I thought he was cool, but not compelling. No real secrets in regards to Rob Lucci. And of course, he was in Luffy's way, but that's why he's on probably a tier or two below Crocodile and Doflamingo. Now, when we get to Blackbeard, the antithesis of Luffy, we know what he's trying to accomplish. So many things, and he accomplished some already. He's already a Yonko. Personal desires, he has so many, right? He wanted to get the Yami Yami no Mi, he got it. He wanted to become a warlord, he got it. He wanted to get Whitebeard's fruit, he got it. He wanted to become a Yonko, he got it. Motivations. I mean, there are a few characters in One Piece that are more motivated than Blackbeard. Blackbeard is always on the move. One of the recent chapters, we saw Blackbeard, he was leaving to do something after hearing about something with the world government. His character agency is through the roof. We know what he's trying to gain. Adaptability, it's clear. right? For Blackbeard, in certain situations, like when Shanks showed up, he was saying he's king of the world. No one can defeat me. It is my era. Shanks showed up. He's like, you know what? Not yet. Let me wait a bit. Not yet for you, Akagami. So he's capable of adapting, and we saw it versus Akainu as well. He has no problem retreating when he needs to retreat. Is he compelling? Of course. He is, again, the antithesis of Luffy, and I think you can't capture it any better than Jaya, where he's just like Luffy, but he's so different, where they chase the same things. They have ambitious goals. They're both D's, but their journey is so much different. Blackbeard is all about shortcuts and getting to your goal quickly, using the resources that you have. Luffy is all about the journey. Is Blackbeard hiding things? I mean, obviously, Blackbeard, there's something about his body we don't know. Blackbeard being able to consume 2 devil fruits. There's still secrets to Blackbeard that we don't know about. There's also the fact that Blackbeard does not sleep. What is going on there? So this makes this antagonist so much more compelling. And then I don't even have to get into how he's in the path of Luffy. He's Luffy's final matchup. We assume, other than the world government, the final pirate Luffy will fight, we're assuming is Blackbeard, because everything he stands for is what Luffy is against. So as an antagonist, it's very easy to see him eclipsing Doflamingo and Crocodile. Now Kaido, how does he compare to those characters? I think over time, we've learned about what he's trying to accomplish. He has the personal desires of ruling the world with Big Mom. Not with Big Mom, but at this point, he's with Big Mom. Motivations. We know he's seeking a great death. Well, that's how he was initially introduced. It seems to be a bit deeper now. Adaptability is a bit lacking. I mean, of course, when he's fighting the supernova, he then went to hybrid form and nothing really changed immediately, but he's able to adapt somewhat. Is he compelling? Yes. I think the more we find out about him, he becomes more and more compelling. Initially, he seemed to be pretty linear, but as time has passed on, the different quips of dialogue that we've seen, I think the one in the recent chapter was the best one in my opinion, where he talks about faith and believing in Luffy and what he should have done. It's a lot of regret that goes on with Kaido. He thinks a lot. We can't forget about the issue with his kid. So with all those things, he's flawed but relatable. And also what makes him compelling is his past. We found out about his devil fruit, but we want to know about his journey with the Rocks Pirates. Before then, what were his motivations? And then even, if you want to get meathead, who were the people to defeat him back then, right? And of course, he's in Luffy's way. He is directly in Luffy's path to becoming the Pirate King. So how does he stack up? He's not quite there yet. I think I need a bit more backstory, a bit more impact on the world at large. I wish his motivations were a bit clearer, because again, we can speculate, hey, he wants to die. And sometimes it's like, well, he doesn't really want to die. It's just that if he dies, he wants to go out in a great way. And of course, his personal desires, it goes just with the same theme: war, dying, death, battle. How his backstory comes together, that's going to make or break Kaido as a possible top 5 antagonist in the story, which I think he's capable of achieving, but he has a lot of competition. We don't have enough time to talk about Akainu and the Admirals and how they stack up as antagonists today, because with Akainu, there's so much to talk about in regards to person versus society and that conflict, and how to separate the man from the mission, which is something people don't talk about a lot, but I think that's important, where you have to dissect what somebody says and their actions. But some may say Akainu and his goals, him as a person and what he does, they're so closely tied and they haven't been separated as yet as much. How could we even make that statement? So guys, give me your thoughts though. I've talked long enough. Obviously, I love the One Piece antagonists. I think they're all unique. They're individualistic, they have their own goals, they're charismatic in their own ways. There are other ones that I could get into, but those are the ones I'm going to talk about right now. But guys, give me your thoughts. Make sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BragoD.Ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Guys, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite it.